So how do you analyze the recent attempt by the US President Obama in trying to solve the Israel-Palestine conflict?
I think his Cairo speech was a major step forward. He said all the right things. He obviously has sort of a sensibility and an ability to communicate with people. I would like to think that in a few months or next year we would have some kind of peace settlement, but I'm afraid I'm very pessimistic. I think this conflict has gone on for too many decades, and alas, I think it's going to go on for a lot longer. And that's a tragedy. It's Jerusalem, it's the holy city, and yet it's been at war for 60 years, essentially. And I'm afraid the conflict is going to go on and on.
So do you take President Obama's Cairo speech, A New Beginning, as a landmark to U.S.-Arab ties?
He said a lot of very good things that needed to be said. President Bush, I can't imagine him ever making such a speech. Bush had no understanding of foreign affairs, and Obama has an instinctive understanding. He, like myself, spent part of his childhood abroad, and I think that helps to, give you a perspective, a global perspective on the world. But this is a very intractable problem. Two historical narratives clashing, and yet, Israel and Palestine, it's a very small place. It's a tiny place. And just in terms of the physical territory, once you're there and you get a sense of it, you understand, at least from my perspective, that these people eventually are going to have to live together. And yet, the conflict is, although it involves a relatively small number of people, it's a very dangerous conflict because it's a flashpoint. It's a nuclear flashpoint, coming back to our conversation about Oppenheimer. If nuclear weapons are ever used in war again, it's quite possible that this will happen in the Middle East. Israel has a bomb, and the Iranians are now trying, evidently, to acquire nuclear weapons as well. So this is a very dangerous conflict, and it's one that should be solved in a peaceful fashion.
In this age of globalization, how important or unimportant does the issue of identity become, in your opinion?
Well, I think actually identity is at the heart of this Arab-Israeli conflict. And this is something that people really don't understand. Identity, to my mind, in the 21st century is, it can be an incendiary issue. And yet it shouldn't be, because we are all made up of many identities. And it's wrong to categorize people with one label. So in my book, I describe the Middle East that I grew up in as a mosaic, where everyone I met had multiple identities. They're Christian Palestinians, they're Muslim Palestinians, but they have various ethnic backgrounds. There are Armenians who are Christians. There are Jews who are American, and there are Jewish Frenchmen, and there are Jewish Israelis. But in Israel itself, there's also Christian Palestinian Israelis who, and Druze. And this is the nature of the Middle East. It's a mosaic, and we have to find a political format where these multiple identities are respected.
Since childhood, you have spent most of your life in Asia and in the Middle East, where conflict is real, where the burden of past is a real one. There's a lot of anger, and the sense of revenge is extremely real. Do you think that the philosophy of forgive and forget could be one solution to this?
Well, actually, no, I don't like the phrase forgive and forget. Forgive, perhaps, but you can only forgive if you understand. And so you can't forget what happened. You have to, confront the hard truths, the ugly truths, the difficulties of our world, and the difficulties, the hard, ugly truths of our history. So once you do that, though, I would hope that people would understand that, you know, violence is not the way, that life is too short for that, and that we should learn to, while not forgetting the wars and the killings and the murders, we need to move on and try to find a world in which we can live together, particularly in an age of atomic weapons.
To sum up our conversation, let us hope that the intelligent and smart people are also blessed with wisdom and sense of responsibility so that their inventions are used for the good of humanity. Thank you for being with us during the last 6 months. We will soon be back with the season 2 of Power Talks. Meanwhile, I look forward to your email and feedback at the email address powertalkstv@yahoo.com. Till then, good luck and goodbye. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much.
And I have a small gift for you, the tradition of Power Talks. It's a national cap of Nepal.
Topi.
Topi. And it's made in Bhaktapur from the Dhaka cloth.
Very fine one. Should I try it on?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Since you have such a deep connection to Nepal since 1970.
Since 73, right.